All right, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning or evening, depending on where you might be coming in from. My name is Matt Cornwell. I work in the Saunders College of Business within Student Services in support of our graduate recruitment efforts. And this is our third iteration of our Grad Chat Series in the fall semester. So we spend some time highlighting each of our individual programs, both the MBA and the MS programs. And today I'm very excited to have Dr. Jerrie Hsieh with us, who will be reviewing our MS in Hospitality Business Management, which is newly STEM designated. So that is very exciting. There's only two actually MS hospitality programs in the US that are STEM designated, and we have one of them. So we're very excited about that. Just a couple things before I turn it over to Jerrie. If you do need captioning, please feel free to initiate that. You can do that right in the bottom of your Zoom screen. There's a captioning feature. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to put those in the chat. There's also a Q&A function, so you can use that as well if you'd like. But we welcome those. And those attending live, feel free to unmute yourself as well if you do have questions. Without further ado, we'll get started. So I'll turn it over to Jerrie.
Thank you, Matt. Hi, everyone. My name is Jerrie Hsieh. I'm the director of MS in Hospitality Management Program. I'm very excited to be here, to introduce our MS in Hospitality Management Program. I have prepared a PowerPoint slide, so I'm going to, share the slides with you first. All right. As Matt just mentioned that, our MS in Hospitality Management Program is a STEM designated program. So there are only two, hospitality program in the U.S. that are, STEM hospitality. So here are some highlights of our program. First of all, our program is a forefront STEM curriculum. So we focus on technology, analytics, customer service, experience, and then sustainability. Our curriculum include six hospitality core courses and four secondary focus, which means that four elective courses. So our degree can be completed within 3 semesters, which is 1 year. And for the secondary focus, students are allowed to take other graduate level courses within the Saunders College of Business. So if you are thinking of finance or supply chain management, you are interested in marketing, yes, you are able to take those courses, including the MBA courses, to be part of the, the degree requirement. So because of this flexibility, our master degree actually opened doors to a variety of job opportunities, even beyond the hospitality or service industry. And then our program is within the, Saunders Business of College, so which is the AACSB accredited business program. And then once students join our program, students are immediately connect with more than 25,000 business alumni from Saunders. And then because this is a STEM, hospitality program, so international students can take advantage of the STEM OPT visa, which means that for international students who graduate from this program on a F1 visa, they are able to work in the US for up to 3 years after, their graduation from the program. Okay, our program was ranked number 4 in the US, ranked number 19 globally, and number 8 in the Middle Atlantic region, and number 7 as the best hospitality and hotel management school in the world by the CEO Award. And then now I want to talk a little bit about the curriculum. So students are required to complete 10 courses, to fulfill the degree requirement. So of the 10 courses, the 6 of them are hospitality related courses. and 4 are elective courses. So these courses are all related to technology. They are all very data driven. They are related to customer service. They are related to finance, sustainability. And so let's look at the, curriculum first. So if you look at the, the circle in the middle, so the 6 core courses include advanced lodging operations, advanced food and beverage business management class. And then these are the 2 foundation courses for our students. Once students finish this part, they will move on to customer experience and engagement, and then they will take hospitality analytics, and they will move to hotel real estate and investment, as well as a capital project. And then so all the skills and knowledge students learn from program, they are transferable. So this is very good. And then regarding to the 4 elective courses, okay, student can choose from any MS degrees in the Saunders College of Business, to develop a secondary focus. So the secondary focus can be related to management, marketing, accounting, finance, data analytics, or leadership, or even supply chain management. And then so if you look at the slide here, the slides kind of show some examples of the possible elective courses that student can choose. For example, introduction to data analytics and business intelligence, marketing concept and commercialization, accounting for decision makers, accounting information and analytics, technology and future of work, leading teams in organization, leading innovation, and negotiation. All right, so our graduate faculty actually, design and, teach all the, graduate level courses, and all our graduate faculty, all, with a PhD from well-known universities such as Cornell, Purdue, and, University of Central Florida, and we all have very extensive industry experience. Okay, in terms of student learning experience, we are very dedicated to enhancing students' learning experience. So frequently, we travel with our students to, conferences, and workshop. For example, at the end of this month, we are going to travel with students to attend the hospitality show in San Antonio. And in January, usually we travel with students to LA to participate in a conference called ALICE, which is the American Lodging Investment Summit. In February, our students, club usually host a Valentine's Day dinner, which is the fundraising event. So on the bottom of the slide, the left-hand side, the picture, it shows that, the Valentine's Day dinner hosted by our students. So if you are into event management, event planning, this is also the right program for you to choose. In May, we travel to Chicago with our students for the National Restaurant Show. And in June, we accompany our students to participate in a high-tech conference. So you can see the picture on the right-hand side. This is the picture from the high-tech conference. And then at the bottom, this is the pictures, taken during the New York Hotel Motel Show. All right, hotel internship. Okay, for the hotel internship, this is not mandatory for our graduate students, but we strongly encourage our students to gain as much as industry experience. So for graduate students who are interested in obtaining the industry experience, we will work with the students and we will identify, the right hospitality organization for students to do the internship. Okay, so the pictures on the slide, you can see the pictures that student did the internship with Disney, with the Caesar Palace Casino, and with the Country Club. All right, so career outlook. So because of the design of our curriculum, it's very, data driven. it focuses on technology sustainability. So our program actually unblocks abundant job opportunities. So this slide shows that, just give you some example of the possible career paths for our students. As you can see here, the career paths may include customer experience director, hotel restaurant general manager, event director, director of training and development, chief operating officer, director of finance, revenue manager, hospitality college lecturer, and asset managers, real estate development associate consultant, or analyst, hotel investment consultant, chief development officer, brand manager, director of marketing analytics, and project manager. Okay, application. Application is very straightforward, and we are accepting the applications for fall 2025. So the first thing you need to do is that you need to get online and go to rit.edu/apply. Get into this link, and then you will create an account. And from there, you can fill up the online application form. And in addition to this, students are required to submit the official transcript of all, from the undergraduate degree, or if students have any graduate coursework, they can submit the, transcript too. But if you receive a degree from RIT, you don't have to, ask for the transcript. Eventually, we will retrieve the transcript, from RIT system for you. And the application fee is $65. But if you are RIT alumni, you don't have to pay for the application fee. For international students, they are required to submit the GRE or GMAT, scores, and also the English language test scores, either TOEFL, IELTS, or PTE language scores. And then other than that, students need to submit a personal statement, kind of talk about, why are they interested in this program, and what do they want to do, for their future career. And then the last thing students need to submit is the current resume. All right, scholarships. So there are like numerous scholarships actually available, for our students. The first thing is a tuition waiver merit scholarship. So when the students apply for the program, for those students with very strong academic records, there is a possibility they can receive 30% to 40% tuition discount right upon admission. All right, and once students are admitted to the college, they have the opportunities to become graduate student workers, which means that they will become an assistant to the professors in the Saunders Business of College, and they will work up to 8 to 10 hours per week with a rate of $15 or more, during the semester. And other than that, there are other scholarship available, for graduate students doing their study at RIT. And starting from this year, especially for the hospitality, business management program, we have dedicated a $5,000 scholarship, to outstanding students who apply for our program. So, for whoever would like to, apply for the program, please take this great opportunity to earn the $5,000, scholarship. Okay, so if you have any questions, that feel free, to contact Matt or me. So you can see that Matt's email address and my email address here, and feel free, to contact me if you have any questions. And if you want to, I will be happy that if you want to schedule a Zoom meeting with me, you are welcome to do so. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jerry. All right. Are there any questions from folks? And while we wait for any of those, just a few things I want to highlight with the scholarship piece. That's actually kind of unique in one sense to hospitality. One, with the merit scholarships, those are all scholarship awards that will be attributed at the time of admission. So Jerry reviews your application with Peggy Terrell, who oversees our graduate programs, and they determine the merit award. Those again are generally the average in the typical award is somewhere around 30% to 40%, but we do have some students that may get as high as 50% depending on their merits. And then there are instances where you might see a scholarship in the 20% range. So the range tends to be 20 to 50%. For RIT students who do stay, there are some other scholarship incentives built in. There's a master plan scholarship award that I believe is still going to be in place for next year. That's 40%. And then if you're an RIT honors student, you actually get 50% because of the rigors of the honors program. But in addition to that, and Jerrie alluded to this, we have some very, very strong hospitality alumni that have endowed scholarship funds that allow us to contribute potentially more awards. So I think it's really important to understand that even if you're admitted with a certain percentage scholarship award, there is potential for more. Again, depending on your merits, and to an extent, some of those can be need-based as well. That we'll consider students for. So the hospitality program has been around a long time. So we're very fortunate to have a really strong alumni network that has supported and continues to support really strong scholarship opportunities. So I want folks just to be mindful of that as well. But yeah, so any and I know we only have a few attendees in person, which is fine. But you know, again, if we have questions, we can take those. Jerrie, I think the one question I would ask you, and you
Yes.
discussed this a little bit, but for alumni of the program, can you speak to just some of the places that the MS students have gone on to work and some of the different jobs that they've taken?
Okay, I think that our graduate actually, they are currently, if we look at where they are right now, they are either working in the industry or in academia. For those who are in the industry, that we have someone actually work for the winery as a marketing analyst. So she actually is doing the marketing analysis for a very big winery. And we also got our graduate working for Expedia.com. I think that it is also more like a back of house work. Of course, we got tons of our graduates, working for the big, hotel companies such as Marriott, Hilton's. They are more in HR. Area. For those who are more interested in operational, we got hotel general managers, restaurant managers, and we also have students who our graduate actually were are entrepreneurship. They actually started their own event management company. They started their own restaurants. For those who are in academia, there are two types. One is that they graduate from our program with a master degree, so they become instructor in the 2-year community college. And then the other group of people in the academia actually after the master degree, they pursue a PhD degree in hospitality and tourism management, and they become a professor in a 4-year university. So basically, these are the examples of where are our graduates.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Jerrie. Yeah, a lot of RIT's, rooted co-op program and just career emphasis has really helped drive, again, just opportunities that allow students to flourish once they finish the program. The last question that I would ask, just to kind of bring the STEM designation full circle, what were some of the tangible things that the program did to incorporate the STEM piece into the curriculum to get that ultimate designation?
I think that in terms of STEM perspective, in terms of teaching, we are incorporating a lot of simulations into our teachings, and then a student will be involved in a lot of case studies, more to deal with numbers, and then we want to train students how to collect data, how to analyze data, and then how to make, right decision based on the, the data analysis. So it doesn't matter students are in the lodging class, food and beverage class, or even in customer service class, student were involved in a lot of, data analysis. But other than that, before that, students also learn how to collect the data, how to collect the right data to help, the organization to make the right decision. So data analysis definitely is one thing that, it will be very well addressed, in our curriculum. And in terms of technology, students will learn things about AI, the application of AI and robots, and then the human interactions of, between AI and human interaction. How do you apply this into our industry? Because we can see that in the future, in hospitality, the operation will be very different. In the hospitality, we will going to apply a lot of technologies, to increase the productivity and efficiency, and then to kind of, elevate the challenge of the labor shortage. And then so all this concept, what kind of technology, are available right now, and what kind of, technology will be applied, into our industry, all this will be taught, in our program. And so when students, are in a managerial position, they know how to make the right decision, which kind of technology we should apply, to maximize the profit for the organization.
Perfect. Thanks, Jerry. Yes, I think, just that helps a lot. Just kind of put the curriculum into perspective, and what students can expect once they start. All right. Well, anything else that you wanted to add, Jerry, or otherwise, we can certainly wrap up at this point.
I think the RIT's MS in hospitality business management is unique. It's different from other hospitality programs. So our focus is more on putting students on the managerial positions. It's not, we do not really focus too much on the operational level. It's more about managerial position. It's more about the future, and then we prepare students for the future, and then so that they can be very successful, with their careers.
Great. All right. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it. Well, we hope everybody enjoyed the session. And again, if you do have interest in applying, you can do that right online, rit.edu/apply. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us directly. Our contact information is right on our website, so you can search us, and you'll find it pretty easily. But again, thanks for joining us. We hope to get a chance to connect with folks in the near future, and have a good day or evening wherever you're coming in from.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.